से प्यार है कि मेरा भी आना चाहिए, लोगों का भी आना चाहिए.
So when I started my first company, the revenue was the most important thing.
What was your parents' reaction into this particular segment? Because parents are very supportive.
My father's side comes from a business side.
आजकल जेनजीज की भाषा में डिफ्रेंसिएशंस आते हैं कि दीज आर द रेड फ्लैग्स एंड दीज आर द ग्रीन फ्लैग्स.
इन्वेस्टर और फाउंडर के बीच में अलाइनमेंट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड इफ दैट इज़ नॉट हैपनिंग फॉर सम रीज़न, देन फॉर मी इट इज़ अ रेड फ्लैग.
अगर कुछ 5 पॉइंट्स में आपको इस पूरी बुक को सम करना, मोर एक्साइटेड टू रीड दिस बुक, तो वो 5 पॉइंट्स क्या होंगे? व्हाट विवेक चड्ढा एज एन इन्वेस्टर सीन्स इन एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ अ आइडिया और इन अ फाउंडर. हेलो विवेक सर, वेलकम टू द शो. स्टार्टिंग आउट हम इससे पहले बहुत बार मिले हैं. हम लोगों ने काफ़ी बार ऑन अ लंच एंड देन ओवर अ सूरत ट्रिप. वन थिंग विच आई ऑलवेज यूज टू सी इज़ कि वेन एवर यू आर मीटिंग टू एनी वन, वेदर इट्स अ स्टूडेंट्स, इट्स अ फाउंडर और अ इन्वेस्टर या कोई भी रैंडम भी बंदा होगा, आप कभी भी मिल रहे हो उससे, तो you are catering that with the same pitch, same affection, same tone. So first is why you do that and how you do that.
ग्रेट क्वेश्चन, थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी ऑन द शो. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि वन, एवरीबडी इज़ इक्वल, रिस्पेक्ट शुड बी इक्वल. सेकेंडली, आई एन्जॉय टॉकिंग टू पीपल बिकॉज आई वॉन्ट टू लर्न अबाउट देयर स्टोरी, राइट? And when you genuinely want to understand people's perspective, then you forget seniority, right? People would call me sir, let's say a college student. I recommend people call me by name because that breaks the barrier of any visible gap, and then it brings people to the same page, and then it makes the conversation more inclusive, right? तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि सब जब मैं किसी से बात कर रहा हूँ तो वो ये ना सोचे कि मैं उससे सीनियर हूँ, तो वो सोच समझ के बात करे. वो मेरे से ऐसे बात करे जैसे एक नॉर्मल पर्सन से आप बात कर रहे हो, राइट? अब मैं चाहे इन्वेस्टर से बात कर रहा हूँ, चाहे कॉलेज स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहा हूँ, एंटरप्रेन्योर से बात कर रहा हूँ, आई थिंक एवरीबडी कम्स विद देयर ओन पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट? और मेरा आइडिया रहता है कि आई वॉन्ट टू लर्न अबाउट दैट पर्सपेक्टिव. सो व्हेन आई वॉन्ट टू लर्न, then other barriers should not remain, right? And I try to make them comfortable because they do not know me. So how do I break that barrier? I break that barrier through talking to them in a manner that makes them comfortable.
Or is it like you want to feel young?
I'm already young.
All right, but people know you, like you already have like more than 33,000 followers over LinkedIn and
Sure.
a lot of podcasts and videos, and so that your book has also released.
Right.
So people already know you, but still if we break down, because when I look at your journey, you started as an employee and then become a founder, and then again an employee, then again a founder, then a full-time founder, then investor, and now you are an author also.
Right.
So how's this journey? Because when I started my journey, I started as an employee. I drained myself for 2-3 years in corporate, and then I find out that this is something which I want to do just for community, and then I shifted back to the entrepreneurship zone completely. So what was your mindset, and just a brief introduction about what Vivek Chadda is?
So I come from a defense family. I've traveled across the country. My father, was posted to different regions, and we were always in a very protective environment. And when I cleared my 12th class, my mother asked me ki, she actually told me that you should, try and get into Air Force. And I said कि 20 साल मैंने Air Force लाइफ देख ली है, अब मेरे को कुछ और करना है. So मैंने इंजीनियरिंग की पढ़ाई की. आई गॉट इनटू दिल्ली कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग. आई गॉट अ वेरी गुड रैंक. आई गॉट द चॉइस ऑफ माय सब्जेक्ट कंप्यूटर साइंस. और फिर 4 साल कॉलेज में मस्ती भी बहुत करी, और एक ड्रीम था कि कुछ बड़ा करना है, राइट? पहली जॉब मैंने मोहाली चंडीगढ़ में करी. फिर सेकंड जॉब मैंने नोएडा में करी. और नोएडा में जब मैं जॉब कर रहा था तो वो जॉब बहुत अच्छी, आई वॉज गेटिंग पेड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, बट मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रहा था कि मेरे को लग रहा था कि अगर मैं यही करता रहूँगा लाइफ लॉन्ग तो मैं रेस्ट हो जाऊँगा, राइट? एंड फिर कहीं पे जो एंटरप्रेन्योरियल कीड़ा वो जागा, और फिर मैंने अराउंड 4-5 years बाद आई डिसाइडेड कि I want to do something. So I started with an idea, and I started while I was in the company and overlapped it for 6 months. After 6 months I left the job, and then I started on the journey. And I'm a first generation entrepreneur, तो मेरे को लगा कि मैं कर लूँगा. ग्लैमर दूर से entrepreneurship का बहुत दिखता है. After running the company for 2 years I realized कि I did not have money to make payroll. And I was sitting alone, literally crying, how will I do this? Or have I made a mistake? But somehow I persevered because I really wanted to make it work and prove myself. And eventually the company scaled, and later it was acquired in 2018. And this is a paradox, right? The paradox is that जब मैं एम्प्लॉई था तब मैं कंपनी शुरू करना चाहता था. जब मैंने कंपनी शुरू करी तो मैंने रियलाइज़ हुआ कि मेरे से कहीं गलती तो नहीं होगी. But today, if you ask me, I will not trade this journey for anything else. It is one of the best things that has happened in my life, because the exposure, the learning that I have got by running my own company, I don't think life में कोई और ऐसा experience आपको मिल सकता है. जॉब में तो नहीं मिल सकता for sure.
A lot of times जैसे आप बता रहे हो कि आपने एज एन एम्प्लॉय एज अ जॉब माइंडसेट स्टार्ट किया एंड देन फाउंडर वाले माइंडसेट पे गए. सेम हैपेंड विद मी, बट मुझे कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा लगता है कि सिंस नाउ आई ऑल्सो हैव एम्प्लॉयज़, मुझे लगता है कि कहीं वो कल को जाकर अगर फाउंडर्स बनते हैं एंड दिस थिंग जस्ट ये चलता ही रहा कि एम्प्लॉयज़ आर वर्किंग फॉर 3-4 years एंड देन दे आर शिफ्टिंग टू फाउंडर्स. सो एक पॉइंट आएगा कि मार्केट थोड़ा सेचुरेटेड हो जाएगा. सो डू यू थिंक दैट हर एम्प्लॉय जो फाउंडर बनना चाहता है वो फाउंडर बनता है, या कुछ एम्प्लॉयज़ ही ठीक रहता है?
आई थिंक पर्सनैलिटी पे बहुत डिपेंड करता है. बहुत सारे लोग फाउंडर्स नहीं बनना चाहते हैं, एंड आई थिंक फाउंडर्स एंड entrepreneurship इज ओवर ग्लैमराइज्ड इन द इंडस्ट्री, राइट?
बाय शार्क टैंक एंड अ लॉट
मीडिया आपको वो स्टार्टअप्स दिखाएंगे जो सक्सेसफुल हैं, वो 95% स्टार्टअप्स नहीं दिखाएंगे जो स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, बंद हो चुके हैं. आज तक कोई ऐसा शो नहीं बना जिसमें बंद हुए स्टार्टअप्स के ऊपर कोई भी पोस्टमार्टम हुआ हो या कोई डिस्कशन हुआ हो, या उन फाउंडर्स को पॉडकास्ट पे बुला के बोला करो ये वो 5 फाउंडर्स जिनकी स्टार्टअप्स बंद हो चुकी हैं. Humans do not want to understand about failure. They just want to glamorize about success, right?
Do you get ever encountered with such startup जो बहुत अच्छा कर रहा था but then it miserably failed and
बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स हैं. एक स्टार्टअप तो वैसे ही जिसमें मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया था, और बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग देन यू ट्राई टू सी व्हाट इज़ द पोटेंशियल. एंड स्टार्टअप जर्नी इनिशियली एटलीस्ट इज़ वेरी अनप्रिडिक्टेबल. मार्केट चेंज होने में बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं लगता. कोई कंपेटिटर आ गया आपका मार्केट में, डायनेमिक्स चेंज हो गए, कोविड आ गया, कोविड चेंज्ड फॉर एग्जांपल एवरीथिंग, राइट? सो देयर आर मेनी केसेस वेयर the journey, while it is going up, it can stabilize or it can start coming down.
True. During this whole journey of finding yourself as a founder, what was your parents' reaction into this particular segment? Because nowadays parents are very supportive. मेरी मम्मी, अगर मैं खुद भी बोलूँ तो जब मेरी बारी आई थी बैक आज से 6 साल पहले, शी वॉज हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, बट क्योंकि मीडिया एक्सपोजर इतना हो गया है, देर आर इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स कमिंग अप. व्हेन माय ब्रदर केम टुडे एंड आस्क्ड कि मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप परस्यू करना है, दे आर मोर रेडी फॉर दैट. बट आज से 20-25 years पहले व्हेन यू मेड दिस चॉइस, तब बिल्कुल ही चीज़ें अलग थी. एंड स्पेशली कमिंग फ्रॉम अ डिफेंस background, they have a government job, they have that fixed salary wali cheese. How you convinced them?
So the good thing is my parents, my father's side comes from a business side. My father is the only person who got into service and defense. But हम ऐसे environment में बड़े हुए जहाँ पर everything is available to you, comfortable and provided by for the government. बट जब मैंने फादर को बताया अपने कि मेरे को अपनी कंपनी शुरू करनी है, ऑब्वियसली एज अ पेरेंट ही वॉज वेरी कंसर्न, बिकॉज एक जॉब जिसमें बहुत अच्छी आपकी सैलरी आ रही है, आपने एक इंजीनियरिंग की पढ़ाई करी, सो दैट योर करियर इज सेट, नाउ यू आर गेटिंग इनटू समथिंग अननोन and he obviously understood that business is not easy. So he tried understanding, what do I want to do, but looking at my passion that I really want to do it, he encouraged me, to go ahead and do it.
How important do you feel that encouragement was needed?
100%. Entrepreneurship शुरू में आपके पैशन पे ही चलता है, राइट? एंड बहुत बारी इट इज़ योर इकोसिस्टम एंड योर नेटवर्क, जिसका सपोर्ट बहुत ज़रूरी होता है, बिकॉज सेल्फ डाउट बहुत होता है जब आप शुरू कर रहे हो, स्पेशली व्हेन यू आर नॉट अवेयर हाउ you as a founder, how will you do as a founder of the company that you're just starting, right? But if there are people who are supporting you, and they don't need to come and support you in setting up the company, just that emotional support and just being there, I think is more than sufficient.
Absolutely. Because I feel अगर हमारे आसपास का नेटवर्क या हमारे आसपास के स्पेशली आवर पेरेंट्स एंड द प्लेस वेयर वी आर गोइंग बैक आफ्टर दिस होल साइट, अगर ये एक कंफर्टेबल स्पेस ना हो एंड यू आर जगलिंग अगेन एंड अगेन, वो कहीं ना कहीं आपके बिजनेस पे इफेक्ट करता ही है.
100% करता है. आजकल देखो रोल मॉडल्स बहुत हैं. आजकल 20-year फाउंडर्स आर सेइंग कि हम ये कर लेंगे बिकॉज दे सी पीपल हु आर डूइंग इट इन द मार्केट. सो अगर उनको कहीं से सपोर्ट नहीं भी मिल रहा है, दे नो देयर आर रोल मॉडल्स इन द मार्केट वेयर इट इज़ पॉसिबल एंड देयर इज़ एन इकोसिस्टम सपोर्ट. जब मैंने शुरू किया था तब इकोसिस्टम सपोर्ट कुछ भी नहीं था, बट मेरे को ये था कि मेरे को आई वांट टू डू इट माई सेल्फ, राइट? Obviously it was a struggle to find the right people to understand how businesses are done, and along the journey I also got stuck a lot of time जहाँ पे मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि मुझे क्या करना है. So मैं जैसे कहता हूँ हम तो धक्का मार के सीखे हैं, right? आजकल click of a button you can get all the services available, you can get mentors, you can get funding, you can get XYZ, but at that time you had to really navigate and बहुत सारी mistakes करी, उसके बाद जाके समझ में आया कि क्या करना है.
So you also started bootstrapped, no funding, nothing.
फंडिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं था तब.
फंडिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं था probably. हमने जब डिसाइड किया था, like me and my co-founder decided to get our company bootstrapped, people a lot of times used to come and ask कि why you want, because आजकल कल्चर ही वो हो गया है, there are memes happening and सब कुछ कि इन्वेस्टर से पैसा लो, उसका पैसा लगाओ, फिर और पैसा लो और पैसा लगाओ, एंड देन ईदर गेट इट एक्वायर्ड या फिर उसको सक्सेसफुल बना दो. कई फाउंडर्स ने इसको 2x 3x एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वाली जर्नी में जो है उन्होंने इसको एक टाइप ऑफ लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड भी बना लिया है. व्हाट वाज योर थॉट when you were starting as a bootstrap कि मुझे ये करना है, because you are not taking salary at that point. मतलब काफ़ी सारे founders होते हैं जो salaries लेते हैं, but I'm sure when you start bootstrap you do not take salaries. So how was the overall dynamics in terms of finance and revenue was there? मतलब is it like you were scared some days or you were always prepared for advance thing?
I think शुरू में I put in my own money because शुरू में सैलरी तो छोड़ो, आपको जो सेविंग्स होती हैं you start putting
सब
it,
लगानी पड़ती है,
right? But I think एक ना पागलपन होता है जब आप शुरू कर रहे होते हो कि मुझे करना है और इसको ना आगे लेके जाना है और बहुत बड़ा बनना है, राइट? और उस पागलपन में आप ऐसे डिसीजंस ले लेते हो जो बहुत लॉजिकली चलोगे तो आप कभी बिजनेस शुरू ही नहीं कर पाओगे, राइट? और उस पागलपन की वजह से यू गेट अ सॉर्ट ऑफ रेजिलियंस कि जब प्रॉब्लम आएगी तो हम देख लेंगे, राइट? और प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं बूटस्ट्रैप बिजनेसेस में. कैश फ्लो की प्रॉब्लम आ गई, बिजनेस चर्न हो गया, एम्प्लॉयज़ छोड़ के जा रहे हैं, कंपनी स्केल नहीं कर पा रही, यू आर दी ओनली फाउंडर, आपके पास टीम मेंबर्स नहीं है जो प्रॉपर्ली उसको सपोर्ट कर सकें, राइट? सो मेरी भी जर्नी ऐसी थी. I put my own money. धीरे धीरे we made money, we reinvested that money in the company, and that's how we grew.
And how long do you think a bootstrap business takes time to grow? Like what's the time span, or it just depend on the founders?
See, it depends. आप किस तरह का बिजनेस कर रहे हो. अगर आप एक टिपिकल सर्विस बिजनेस कर रहे हो तो कैश फ्लो विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम डे वन, राइट? और आप उसको एज ए लाइफस्टाइल बिजनेस रन करना चाहते हो, या आपका बहुत लंबा व्यू है कि मेरे को एक McKinsey टाइप कंपनी बनानी जो कि सर्विस कंपनी, इट्स अ कंसल्टिंग कंपनी, इट्स नॉट अ प्रोडक्ट कंपनी. सो आपके विजन पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप रियली चाहते क्या हो. एंड यू शुड नॉट बी ड्रिवन बाय मार्केट डायनेमिक्स की हर कोई शार्क टैंक में नहीं जाना चाहता एंड हर कोई $100 million यूनिकॉर्न्स नहीं बनाना चाहता. सो आपके विजन पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप एक्चुअली में करना क्या चाह रहे हो.
Moving ahead, throughout your journey, you were mostly revenue centric. You were working as chief revenue officers, and today also you are just helping B2B startups, helping them in generating revenue. तो ये आपको रेवेन्यू से मतलब प्यार है कि मेरा भी आना चाहिए, लोगों का भी आना चाहिए, और यू फाइंड इट द बेस्ट बिजनेस मॉडल? लाइक व्हाट वाज दैट वन?
So when I started my first company, revenue was the most important thing, right? When my company got acquired and I joined the parent company, I was looking at revenue, right? So startup mein there are many things, to make it work. But revenue is that one thing that will solve 99% of the other problems, right? You can help a startup in a lot of ways, but if there is only one thing where I could help startups in solving their biggest pain, I believe if I solve for revenue for them, then I solve their other problems automatically, right? Because if you have revenue, you can invest that revenue into building better systems, you can get better people, you can build a better brand, and it's a positive upward cycle that runs, right? If you fix a lot of things but you're not able to fix revenue, then it's a difficult situation to be in.
And what, according to you, are the 3 most important steps anyone should keep in mind while structuring or while improving their revenue generation?
I think number one is your cost, right? Initially as a startup, you should be very, very lean. You should only incur costs that are absolutely necessary to run the business. कई बार फाउंडर्स बड़े फैंटासाइज कर लेते हैं कि हम ब्रांड बना लेते हैं, हम एक्स कर लेते हैं, वहाँ स्पेंड कर लेते हैं, बट अगर उसका कोई डायरेक्ट कोरिलेशन नहीं है आपकी ग्रोथ के साथ, व्हेन आई से डायरेक्ट मीन्स डायरेक्ट, इफ़ यू कैन नॉट से दैट आई हैव स्पेंट ₹1 here and उसका ROI मेरे को ये निकल रहा है, you should not be spending that money, right? That is one. Secondly, what was the question? I forgot.
What are the 3 important things you should advise to people who are having revenue improvement strategies?
So first is cost. Second is you should have your metrics very, very clear. अगर आपका नॉर्थ स्टार मेट्रिक रेवेन्यू है, उसको अचीव करने के लिए आपको क्या क्या स्टेप्स करने हैं, दैट डेटा शुड बी मैप्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ इनपुट्स एंड आउटपुट्स. रेवेन्यू इज़ अ लैगिंग मेट्रिक. अगर रेवेन्यू नहीं आ रहा है, इसका मतलब 3 महीने पहले कुछ होना था वो नहीं हुआ है, आपकी पाइपलाइन बिल्ड नहीं हुई है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल. सो यू शुड हैव योर इनपुट मेट्रिक्स ट्रैक्ड so that these are indicators that can tell you कि company की direction in terms of revenue कहाँ जा रही है, right? And I think you should always take both a short term view and a long term view. If you are bootstrapped, then short term view, because your cash flow is more important than anything else. One big mistake which founders make, including me, was that if you think company is profitable as per your calculation, right, that is not cash in bank, right? Cash is king, because cash will be used to pay your payroll, make the expenses, and continue the business, right? And the biggest risk in a startup is business continuity. If you don't have capital for 3 months, your business will collapse, right? So you have to take a short-term view in terms of cash flow and a long-term view of taking the decisions so that you can build systems where the company is going to grow. Do the right partnerships, work with the right people, get the right systems in place, right? And follow a more strategic view of your business. So instead of looking things only at the short term, look for things in the long term.
And I feel like sales is also a very integral part when it comes to revenue. Like there would be no revenue if there is no sales happening.
100%. Now, sales is everything. Now, whether it is being sold on its own through digital or there are people who are selling it, right? Sales is, it sort of becomes easy if the product is good, if your brand positioning is good, if people know about you, right? Ideally, in an ideal scenario, there should be no sales team. The product should be so good that it is getting sold by word of mouth and people are discovering you and just buying it. But we need sales team because people have doubts, people want to understand. There is so much competition in the market for attention that you have to go and pitch your product in terms of that we exist in the market and this is the benefit, right? Especially in terms of let's say B2B. In D2C you have a lot of mediums in which you can use AI to make it a DIY journey. You are selling it online, right? But in B2B, for large, especially enterprise deals, you need people, right? So sales is obviously, yes, very, very important and integral part because it is that end game where the decision to buy or not is being done. And if you can influence that decision, by giving the right information, educating the customer, then why not?
True. I was also studying, a long time back that revenue in product based business and revenue as service based business is also very different, because when it comes to product based, I know I have a fixed cost of team and that cost will remain fixed. So now even if I am having more sales, that revenue will increase and the profit margin is growing more and more. But in
Right.
service it's completely different. Like we are getting clients, but now to handle those clients we also need team. So the profit and the revenue structures are different in service based thing. What according to you is the easy in terms of generating revenues and profits? It's a product based industry or it's a service based industry?
So service-based industry is easy to start. You don't need a lot of capital. It is like आज मेहनत करेंगे और आज ही कमाएंगे, right? Depending on your service business, you can do it yourself as a freelancer, or you can hire your team. Depending on your expertise, you can sell that expertise in the market, and people will pay for your expertise, right? And which means you are actually selling your expertise and also your time, right? Or your team's time. So the money that you'll make is proportional to the cost, right? So scaling a service business is difficult because that also means scaling the number of people that you have in your company. It is profitable from day one, right? If your expertise is very highly valued, then your margins will be very, very high, and you can make decent amount of money. You can scale it by adding more people and creating systems, but it becomes a people centric business, right? And there are obviously risks attached to it. A product is basically you build something, and if it is a software product, then the cost of multiplying creating that product is almost nil, right? So if you invested 100 rupees into creating that product, right, and you are able to sell 10,000 pieces or uses of that product, you don't have to spend every time it's just a digital copy of the product, right? There may be some associated minor costs. So it depends on how you look at business. What a lot of founders do is that if they have a vision of creating a product but they don't have capital, they can start with a service business, right, and use that money and pump it into feeding building the product, right? Long term, product is always better if you are able to create a product that is loved by the market, right? The ROI is insane, right? Because you have fixed capital initially, yes, but later you can just, it's like creating an asset on which you can just, eat the returns over its lifetime.
But I also feel like whenever, from an investor point of view, if we see this thing up, we are also more interested in funding a product based startup. But when it comes to service, it's generally not called startup, but more into a business and consultancy segment. So, what according to you, when you have you are on the side of becoming, like, you are the investor and there is a founder who is pitching you, what are some dynamics which you check first that this has to be there?
So, see, services business take a lot of time to scale, right? And the kind of returns investors expect usually are not available in a service business in a given time frame. But it is possible in a product because the product demands upfront, capex. So investors put in the money. If you're able to create a product that will give a 10x, 50x, 100x return in the next, let's say, 5 to 7 years, that is possible in a product. That is not possible in a
Service base.
Service business. Service business is giving you cash flow. It's more like a lifestyle business. And if you don't want to raise capital, service businesses are, very good, and you can keep growing the services businesses. There are services businesses that have gone into IPO as well. They may have taken 20, 30, 40, 50 years, which is fine. Infosys is a service business, for example, right? But in a startup, the appetite for return is only, let's say, 5 average, 5 years. Investors want to see returns in 5 years. Now, when we look at a product company, there are many elements that are to be seen. The number one is what is the market that we're looking at? What is the problem the founder is trying to solve in that market? What is the founder fit? How well does the founder understand the problem that they are trying to solve, right? If I come from biotech and I'm building for rocket science, I may have a very bad founder fit. I may be just doing it out of passion, right? How realistic I am when I'm solving that problem, right? What good caliber do I have in building the team? What is the traction that I have built in so far? What is the stage at which I'm operating? I'm at MVP stage, or I'm already generating revenue. And how will this market move in the next 5 to 10 years? The market is changing very, very fast, but in the horizon of next 5 to 10 years, where will this market go? Is the overall TAM of the market increasing, right? So the market is always above the founder. A market that is growing can take an average founder along with it. And a brilliant founder can fail if the market is not growing or diminishing, right? So the first thing is you have to look at the market. You have to look at, the problem that we are trying to solve. How immediate that problem. Is it a painkiller that we are trying to solve, or is it a vitamin through which we are trying to solve the problem, right? Because when problem strikes, people will cut off the vitamins, but they'll not cut off the, painkillers. So depending on context, these are some of the things, that I look at.
But, while meeting investors and founders, one of the very reverse thing which I have listened all the time is that an investor is not investing majorly on the idea, but on the person and the founder, that what that person is like. Is he or she determined, or is he or she honest? But then you right now just said that it's not about the person, but it's also about the market. So if I jot down this thing up, what according to you is the ideal way of looking it into a perception? Like, if today a founder is going for an investment, it's idea, it's founder, or it's the market?
I think all three are important, right? And that is why I said founder fit.
And if you arrange it into the priority orders?
I think the team will be driven by the founder, right? So founder is most important, because let's say the idea needs to be pivoted, right? It will depend on the resilience of the founder of how far are they willing to go to succeed, right? So if they are going to change the market itself, right, it is the founder who is going to stick with it. So number one bet is on the founder, right? Obviously the characteristic of a founder, you can list down a lot of characteristics. Number one characteristics is, one, how well do they understand the problem that they are trying to solve, and the resilience of the founder themselves. How committed are they to doing this? And history can tell better in terms of, you know, what they have done in the past. While past is not a prediction of the future, but it gives you a good insight into who that person is, right? Second, obviously, is the market, right? Because the market will tell you the macroeconomics of where the dynamics are going, where the industry is going, where is it headed, right? Are we trying to create like 7-finger gloves, which will not be needed in the market, or we are trying to develop truly something that will change the ecosystem, or will be in high demand in the coming, you know, few years, because how things are changing in the market today.
You started as a employee, then a founder, then now an investor. But your startup was bootstrapped and later got acquired. So how you started, like, I want to be the investor or I want to invest? Is it like it just happened one day, you wake up and there was someone who came to you with an idea and you said, I will invest, and then you became investor? Or what was the overall journey? Because a lot of times founders have enough money, and we have seen Dipender Goyal, Aman Gupta, they all have been running a startup first and then became investors. Majoritarily it's main into a angel investor network कि आप फाउंडर होते हो एंड देन आप इन्वेस्टर बनते हो. तो ये जर्नी कैसे होती है, और मतलब इसका कोई रोड मैप होता है या यू जस्ट बिकम इन्वेस्टर वन डे?
सी, इन्वेस्टर बनने के लिए आपको फाउंडर होना ज़रूरी नहीं है. इन्वेस्टर होने के लिए आपके पास थोड़ा सा पैसा होना ज़रूरी है, राइट? अब वो आपने पैसा एज अ फाउंडर कमाया है, एज अ बिजनेसमैन कमाया है, in a job kamaya. I know a lot of people in good jobs who are also angel investing because they are interested in understanding how the ecosystem works, right? So they start investing, and then if investments go well and they want to jump into it, they leave their jobs and become full-time, you know, investors and get into the ecosystem, right? For me, how it was that once my company was acquired, I started looking that, you know, where can I, you know, sort of explore learning more about investing. So I joined an angel network, right, where the check sizes were still small, and I made a few sort of investments, right? And my purpose was to learn and not to really make money, because these are long bets, right? The first investment that I made crashed. The company almost shut down last year. Only recently we found out that an IPO listed company has put in some stake, and there is some sort of arrangement that is happening to revive that company. So at least it has not gone to zero. I think what matters is whether you start or not. In India today, you can invest as small as 1 lakh rupees and do an angel investment through different angel groups, right? Angel networks. The point is that, do you have the desire to learn? Today you're doing 1 lakh. Tomorrow you may be doing 5 lakhs, and then 50 lakhs, and then 1 crore. So you have to get started on that journey. We don't have to, make it sound so difficult that, we'll only do it when we'll have a large amount of capital. The learning part is more important. If you invest 2 to 5 years into learning, after 5 years you'll be better positioned than 95% of the people, because you have learned through that journey, and at that time you have better capital, better experience, better insights, and then you become a better investor. You have to understand that the ROI is more important than the capital you invest, right? If I invest 50 lakhs and make nothing, it's better I invest 5 lakhs and make 10x of it, right? So the learning is more important, and today you can start with.
And this learning is eventually an experience, not any notebook or any sort of a YouTube video you just play. It's just
You
that
cannot learn swimming by
experience.
reading a book.
But there is still instructor who is there who helps you in swimming. But I don't think so.
You-
When we are into this investor network,
You
there
can read
is-
everything, but you will only learn when you get your hands dirty. True learning comes from doing it by yourself. You can have all this support system, you can read books, you can have instructors, you can have mentors, you can have people who have done it to learn from their experiences. But the learning will come once you do it yourself.
So a lot of people, find that investors are rude. They just have a value of their time, and somehow what is coming into media through, if it is Shark Tank and a lot of more other platforms, it's generally like ki investors are rude and investors are very freaky, and they just think about themselves and their money. But while meeting investors, I find it very different. I find like they respect the founder's time, what they are building, and even if they want to say no, they will not say, as we seen in Shark Tank, like I'm out. They still take time, they still have all the calculation done, and then they come up with a solution. So what, according to you, is the difference between the hypothetical investor image which is there in India and what actually the investor looks like?
So the investor image in India, what you described, is from the Shark Tank. Shark Tank is a media show, right? And if you hear many people saying I am out, it is very difficult to assume that they have not spoken about how the show should be run. It's not absolutely as if, there was no training done for the sharks, because
It's a 45 minutes pitch which has been summed up into 5-6 minutes.
exactly. And what they want is eyeballs, so they have to do things to attract those eyeballs, right? And that is not how conversations go, in an investor founder meet. There are sometimes hours of conversations that happen, and there are different kinds of questions that get asked, right? I think that is a sort of a hyperbolic projection of how things really happen. But investors are also, humans, and at some point in time they must have also been, founders. So it is individual in terms of what you described, but I don't think it has anything to do with the investors.
How you as an investor reacts to any founder?
The only thing I'll continue my last thought. The only thing is that imagine you are an investor and you get a lot of pitches or approached by founders, right? What you need to do is to prioritize your time, right? So founders are not rude, but they also need to prioritize their time, and the founders should respect that. If founders can understand how investors think and come into their shoes, they will start understanding how to pitch them better. If you are pitching me something and you take half an hour in just the pitch, while I understand the market, I will want to move fast. Tell me the crux of the matter. What are you trying to solve? What is your background? What is your traction? Give me the hooks so that I come back to you asking, questions. Sometimes founders are so verbose, they will tell their whole life story. Now the investor does not have time to listen to 100 stories in a day, right? But as an investor, it also it's a responsibility to guide the founder to sort of by asking the right questions and getting the information that they need so that they can take the decision, right? Sorry, what was your last question?
What Vivek Chadha as an investor sees in any sort of an idea or in a founder? When someone is coming to you and pitching and they want you to invest in them, what is that whole sort of a conversation you have, and what type of results you expect from them?
For me, I think the founder in the market, the problem that they're trying to solve is very important, and I do not at least till date, I'm not invested to think about results that are going to come in the next 3 to 5 years, right? I bet on the founder by having an overall understanding of the problem that they're trying to solve. And if the general outcome in the next, decade is going to be positive, I make that, investment.
गॉट इट. आजकल जेंजीज की भाषा में डिफ्रेंसिएशंस आते हैं कि दीज आर द रेड फ्लैग्स एंड दीज आर द ग्रीन फ्लैग्स. तो आपके अकॉर्डिंग कभी भी कोई फाउंडर इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी में आ रहा है तो व्हाट आर द रेड फ्लैग्स एंड व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दे शुड कंप्लीटली अवॉइड?
नंबर 1 रेड फ्लैग मेरे लिए इज़ फाउंडर एथिक्स. बिकॉज आप कितने ही जीनियस क्यों ना हो, बट अगर आपके एथिक्स ऑर्डर में नहीं हैं, राइट, सो आप ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते ऑन दैट इन्वेस्टमेंट और ऑन दैट फाउंडर. अब ये बहुत मुश्किल है फिगर आउट करना कि फाउंडर सच बोल रहा है कि झूठ बोल रहा है. नाउ देयर आर वेज इन विच आप ड्यू डिलिजेंस करते हैं टू चेक, बट द नंबर 1 फैक्ट इज़ कि कैन यू बिलीव व्हाट द फाउंडर इज सेइंग, राइट? एंड दिस मे बी अ पर्सनल बायस ऑल्सो, राइट, बट वो इन्वेस्टर और फाउंडर के बीच में अलाइनमेंट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड इफ दैट इज़ नॉट हैपनिंग फॉर सम रीज़न, then for me it is a red flag. I don't want to continue the investment because otherwise मैं हमेशा डाउट में ही रहूँगा कि ये सही जा रहा है या सही बोल रहा है कि नहीं बोल रहा है, राइट? आई वॉन्ट टू बी मेंटली फ्री फ्रॉम दैट कि अगर फाउंडर अपना काम कर रहा है तो कर रहा है, एंड वी कैन प्रोवाइड द गाइडेंस और द इन्वेस्टमेंट वॉट एवर दैट इज़ सॉर्ट ऑफ नीडेड. बाकी रेड फ्लैग्स जो हैं वो ड्यू डिलिजेंस में निकल के आ ही जाते हैं. जो फाउंडर ने क्लेम किया है वो एक्चुअली में हुआ है, नहीं हुआ है, किस लेवल तक हुआ है, एंड ड्यू डिलिजेंस टेक्स अबाउट 1 to 2 weeks. उसमें रेड फ्लैग्स निकल के आ जाते हैं.
गॉट इट. आई होप आपने ये 2 टर्म्स सुने होंगे, मिलेनियल्स एंड जेंजीज. ये दोनों ही लोग आपके पास पिच करने भी आते होंगे. तो इन दोनों पिचेस में आपको क्या डिफरेंस दिखता है कि एक जब आपके पास कोई 25-30 ईयर्स का पर्सन आता है और वो पिच कर रहा होता है, एंड एक जब आपके पास कोई 18, 19, 20 ईयर्स जो भी का जेंजी क्राउड है वो आ रहा है और वो आपको पिच कर रहा है?
गॉट इट. हालांकि 25 ईयर्स वाले भी आजकल जेंजीज ही हैं, बट यूजुअली एक्सपीरियंस्ड फाउंडर्स जो होते हैं they have a better understanding of market and the risks that are associated, right? जो Gen Z founders हैं, they have a lot of passion to do something, right? And since they lack experience, that shows sometimes in terms of the pitch, that they are sort of making. So that
Do
is.
they get irritated when you say no?
I don't think so. Gen Zs are quite persistent, and since they understand the market better in terms of technology and what is available and the options that they have, and that they want to work in their own ways, right? So I've not seen them getting frustrated, but they are relentless in terms of what they want to do, right? Millennials and experienced people I've seen will adjust a little, right, but Gen Zs do not want to adjust. They want to do things the way they think it should be done. One feedback for them obviously is that they should value experience and try to do as many things as possible so that you can gain more experience. So experience does not mean number of years. Experience means how much have you done in the same amount of time. So within 1 year you can gain a lot of experience if you do different things, try different things. If you want to gain experience in raising funds, pitch to 100 investors, let yourself fail. At the end of 100th conversation, your understanding of the subject matter will be better. So the next conversation is going to be definitely better. You will go back to your pitch, you will go back to your product company and make things better so that you become more fundable and investable.
Got it. आपने अभी एक बुक लिखी विच इज़ ऑल्सो अ बेस्ट सेलर बुक, स्टार्टअपोलॉजी. अभी की जो जनरेशन चल रही है, इवन इफ समवन टुडे आस्क मी कि आपने आपकी पूरी फाउंडर की जर्नी में क्या सीखा अपनी? द बेस्ट वे आई हैव इज़ कि मैं उसको या तो एज अ पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड करूँ या फिर मैं उसे एज अ यूट्यूब पर रिकॉर्ड करके डालूँ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एपिसोड्स, क्योंकि आजकल की जो जनरेशन है दे आर मोस्टली इनटू दिस डिजिटल कंटेंट, रील्स एंड शॉर्ट्स. बट इन दिस जनरेशन स्पेशली ये एक डिफरेंस आया है मेजरली जो कोविड के बाद वाला सेगमेंट आया है कि कोविड से पहले पीपल यूज टू लव रीडिंग बुक्स. दे हैव दैट थिंग कि हमें हफ्ते में एक बुक तो कंप्लीट करनी ही है. बट जब से ये 1.5 GB वाला कॉन्सेप्ट आया कि नाउ दे हैव द अनलिमिटेड एक्सेस टू डेटा एंड एवरीथिंग कम्स इन, the whole concept of reading is now shifted. Even when it comes to books, people kind of prefer Kindle and audiobooks more than a book itself.
Right.
So I have a couple of questions aligned. मैं एक बार सारे questions आपको बता देती हूँ and then you can just answer it one by one. One is, what was the whole idea of coming up with this book as an author? Second is how you shifted, because then again a fourth step is there, like you are now from investor, you are also now a founder, author. So that is there. How people in the audience reacted to this book, and apart from all the emotional and promotional things, what were those marketing tactics you, as you know, an experienced founder and investor, did in order to make this book bestseller?
Got it. So, very valid point. You know, I've been an avid reader since college. स्कूल में मेरे को किताबें पसंद नहीं थी. मैंने इनफैक्ट अपनी मदर को बोला था कि सारे स्कूल कॉलेज हटा देने चाहिए और प्लेग्राउंड बना देने चाहिए. बट कॉलेज में मेरे को थोड़ी सी अकल आई. मेरे को लगा कि you know, and I got interested in business, so I used to read a lot of business magazine, and then I started reading books. And then what I realized is that book reading needs a lot of patience, and millennials have a lot of patience. Gen Zs do not have the kind of patience, right? And things went digital so much in the last 10 years that everything is shifted online, right? In fact, my reading habits also have gone digital because of the amount of time we are spending digital. एंड एवरीथिंग इज़ बेस्ड ऑन अटेंशन. टाइम यू नो, दिन में टाइम तो उतना ही है, तो जितना टाइम आप सिस्टम पे स्पेंड करोगे यू विल ऑब्वियसली एंड अप रीडिंग मोर. बुक का कॉन्सेप्ट ऐसे शुरू हुआ दैट ज़ीब्रा लर्न रीच्ड आउट टू मी दैट डू यू वांट टू राइट अ बुक. नाउ मैंने उनको बोला ये तो बचपन से ख्वाब है मेरा बुक लिखने का. बट
एक बुक मेरी भी हो.
हाँ, क्योंकि मैंने इतनी किताबें लिखी तो मेरे को था कि आई यूज्ड टू टेल पीपल कि मेरे को भी किताब एक लिखनी है, हम कभी यू नो एक बुक लिखेंगे. मैंने बट बोला उनको मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है बुक लिखने का, राइट? बिकॉज बुक लिखना इज़ अ डेडिकेटेड एफर्ट ऑफ रिसर्च, राइटिंग, एडिटिंग एंड ब्रिंगिंग आउट दैट प्रोडक्ट फ्रॉम स्क्रैच इज़ ह्यूमंगस अमाउंट ऑफ एफर्ट, राइट? तो उन्होंने बोला अगर आप रेडी हैं तो हम आपकी हेल्प करेंगे, राइट? तो उन्होंने मेरे को थोड़ा सा मोटिवेट किया और यू नो दे प्रॉमिस सपोर्ट. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, इसको शुरू करते हैं. जब बुक शुरू हुई तो हमने एक बेसिकली आइडिया बनाया कि बुक लिखनी किस पे है. एंड आई वॉन्टेड टू राइट समथिंग जहाँ से लोग सीख सकें कि इसको करना कैसे है, राइट? ये बुक का नाम तो लास्ट 2 months में डिसाइड हुआ है बुक लॉन्च के, राइट? बट जब हमने बुक शुरू करी थी तो हमने इंडेक्स से शुरू किया. यू नो क्या कॉन्सेप्ट होना चाहिए, क्या बताएंगे हम, उस इंडेक्स को हमने डिवाइड किया. फिर हमने रिसर्च शुरू करी, फिर उसको लिखना शुरू किया. वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग्स अबाउट दिस बुक इज़ दैट इट डज नॉट लुक लाइक अ टेक्स्ट बुक.
And it's very colorful.
And one of the best compliments I got is that this book looks like a PPT. आप कोई भी पेज उठा के देख लो, every page is so descriptive and so Gen Z type that आपको डिफरेंस फील नहीं होगा कि आप ऑनलाइन पढ़ रहे हो कि ऑफलाइन पढ़ रहे हो. सी एजुकेशन में वन थिंग विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज स्ट्रक्चर. ऑनलाइन क्या होता है कि आपके पास इतने सारे नोटिफिकेशंस और इतने सारा डाइवर्जन होता है कि कंटिन्यूटी मेंटेन करना बड़ा मुश्किल है. बुक के अंदर एटलीस्ट ये है कि आपके पास एक स्ट्रक्चर है एंड इट्स अ फिजिकल एंटिटी इन योर हैंड विच यू कैन रीड. चाहे आप 2 ही पन्ने किताब के रोज़ पढ़ो, एंड द बुक इज़ नॉट एट ऑल बोरिंग. एवरीथिंग हैज़ बीन एक्सप्लेन्ड in a very detailed manner. So feedback तो इसका amazing रहा है. In fact, book तो मैंने लिखी थी for early stage founders or people who have not started. What I realized that teenagers are also reading this book. 15 years upwards, students who are interested in building something, and people at 16 are starting companies or building products, right? They are purchasing this book. So I've received fantastic feedback around that. In terms of marketing, I did not sort of create a large marketing plan, but in the last 2 months I have been sort of promoting this book wherever I am going. If I am going to any event, if I am making any post, I'll make sure I make a mention of it. I've gone to the level that मेरा जो meeting का profile photo है, that is a QR code of Amazon. So लोगों को थोड़ा सा इंट्रीग होता है कि क्या है, राइट? एंड मैं ये भी सोचा था कि हम थोड़ी टी शर्ट्स बनवाएंगे, मग्स बनवाएंगे, मर्चेंटाइज बनवाएंगे, और थोड़ा सी माई आइडिया इज दैट दिस बुक शुड रीच एवरीबडी हु वांट्स टू बिल्ड अ स्टार्टअप और वांट्स टू स्केल दैट स्टार्टअप, and that is the purpose. In fact, this book has been adopted in one of the colleges as a part of the curriculum, which is my biggest success, I would say.
Got it. जब हम इस बुक की बात करते हैं, so there are two kind of startup books we generally have. एक जो हम बिल्कुल systematically पढ़ रहे होते हैं, और एक ऐसी kind की books होती हैं जिनको हमने कोई सा भी पेज खोला and we just read that page or 2-3 pages and हमने बंद करके वापस से रख दिया. Now next time we are reading it again. उसमें उसका कोई सर पाँव नहीं होता है बुक का. It's just a book. So what kind of a book Startupology is?
Startupology का सर भी है और पाँव भी है और पूरी बॉडी है. And it is a sequential book. अगर आपके पास स्टार्टअप आइडिया नहीं है आज और आपको कुछ नहीं पता क्या करना है, you can start from page 1.
अगर कुछ 5 पॉइंट्स में आपको इस पूरी बुक को सम करना हो, जैसे ऑडियंस गेट्स मोर एक्साइटेड टू रीड दिस बुक, तो वो 5 पॉइंट्स क्या होंगे?
दिस बुक विल टेल यू हाउ टू गैदर आइडियाज, हाउ टू रिफाइन योर आइडियाज, हाउ टू मूव अहेड इन टर्म्स ऑफ बिल्डिंग द प्रोडक्ट, हाउ टू गेट फंडिंग. देयर इज अ सेपरेट चैप्टर डेडिकेटेड टू इट. There is a full chapter on go-to-market strategy and scaling your startup and building distribution. And I have spoken about B2B and B2C both. So that ऐसा नहीं है कि हम एक ही टाइप कवर कर रहे हैं, हम सब टाइप्स कवर कर रहे हैं. Then we get into some detailed discussions around let's say कि knowledge, एक स्टार्टअप जर्नी में नॉलेज को आप बहुत सारी चीज़ें करते हो आप, राइट? बट उस नॉलेज को आप स्टोर कैसे करो फॉर योर बेनिफिट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. फाउंडर्स डोंट थिंक अबाउट इट. वो सारी नॉलेज आपके सर में है, राइट? बट आप उसको एज सिस्टमैटिकली एज अ कंपनी कैसे स्टोर करो सो दैट द एम्प्लॉयज एंड रिसोर्सेज इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कैन रीयूज दैट नॉलेज so that the learning and growth can become faster. And there are different models that I've spoken about in the book, which will, these are basically frameworks that will help you understand कि एक startup को बनाने के लिए how do you think, right? There is a chapter on decision making. Now decision making is one of the most important things that you can do in life, especially for startups, right? Every day you are taking decisions. वो डिसीजन मेकिंग फ्रेमवर्क आप बनाओगे कैसे, आप सोचोगे कैसे? सो आई स्पोकन अबाउट दीज थिंग्स एज वेल सो दैट इट डज नॉट लुक लाइक आई एम जस्ट, इट इज अ टेक्स्ट बुक दैट इज टेलिंग यू exactly how to do things.
Giving a Gen Z vibe, colorful, they can just sit and
और इस बुक में एक हिडन थीम है. चैप्टर 1 से लेके चैप्टर 11 तक you will see that the color theme of the book is changing. Page 1 is very Gen Z and last page is a little more matured, more funded startup kinds, because that is the journey of the startup, right?
So you're also helping Gen Zs in shaping themselves with more patience and more into a better future, I would say.
Absolutely. This will give them a better understanding of how to think about problems, how to build a company, how to approach investors, how to scale a company, and understanding so many dynamics of a startup, right? Obviously, they will learn the best when they do it themselves. And my wish is, by the time somebody ends the book, they are ready to build that startup. So this book should also motivate them that it is not as difficult as they may think, right? And this is a companion with which they can always go back to refer that I am facing this problem. What should I go and do? What can I think about this problem, and what ways can I solve this sort of
This is probably a sum of your 25 years of journey.
Absolutely. And I have tried to communicate in very very simple words, right? अगर आप इस किताब की इंग्लिश पढ़ेंगे, ये किताब अभी इंग्लिश में, मेरे पास अभी हिंदी की भी डिमांड आनी शुरू हो गई है, विच आई थिंक इज़ अ बिगर पार्ट ऑफ द भारत, बट इसकी लैंग्वेज मैंने इतनी सिंपल रखी है दैट एनीबडी 17-year-old students are reading this book and they're finding it very comfortable to understand. Plus जो इसमें diagrams हैं, those diagrams are accompanying the text so that it becomes very easy to imagine कि इस चीज़ का मतलब क्या है, and that is the purpose. अगर आपको समझ में आ रहा है पढ़ के और आप उसको रजिस्टर कर पा रहे हो, that is the purpose of education.
मेरी टीम ने आपके लिए एक छोटा सा रैपिड फायर बनाया स्पेशली ऑन दिस बुक.
जी.
सो आई वुड लाइक टू एंड आवर कॉन्वर्सेशन विद दैट रैपिड फायर.
ओके.
या. And it's a very interesting one. You will get 5 seconds to answer the question. And अगर आप ये 10 की 10 questions राइट देते हैं तो
राइट और रॉन्ग इसमें?
राइट या रॉन्ग मतलब अगर आप 5 सेकंड के अंदर अंदर इनके जवाब दे देते हैं,
अच्छा,
तो हमारी साइड से आपको गिफ्ट भी है.
ओह माय गॉड.
ठीक है. वन थिंग दैट डिफाइंस योर बुक.
कलरफुल.
द चैप्टर यू स्ट्रगल्ड विद द मोस्ट.
GTM.
A reader reaction that stayed with you.
Somebody asked me किताब आपने लिखी है.
The emotional one which I know is I guess your friend's daughter read that book in Agra. So I saw that reel. So if Startupology had a soundtrack, what song would it be?
This is a difficult one.
You can sing that same song.
Which one? एक बार आजा 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 समझ में आजा.
One thing you wish you added but you did not.
In the next upgrade version, I will add more about the motivation and the resilience part of building a startup. But I deliberately did not add it. But yeah, next time I will.
So a 2.0 is also coming soon.
Hopefully.
Author you admire the most.
Oh, this is a difficult one. But
you can say your name.
Apart from me.
We can accept.
I think there are many authors, but I think Naval Ravikant is one of my best. One of the best people I admire. This is the way of thinking, something I want to, what I aspire to be.
Kindle और paper book.
Paper book. मुझे वो किताबों की स्मेल बड़ी पसंद है.
इसको ऐसे खोल.
हालांकि मेरे पास Kindle भी है, मेरी मदर ने गिफ्ट किया था, और वो 2 साल से मैंने उसमें 2 ही किताबें पढ़ी हैं.
और इन जनरल पेपर बुक में आपने कितनी पढ़ ली?
पेपर बुक में मेरे पास हैं 300-400 बुक्स का मेरे पास लाइब्रेरी है, बट उसमें भी आजकल थोड़ा चैलेंज है. लास्ट 2 ईयर्स से आई बीन रीडिंग लेस, बट या पेपर बुक्स डेफिनेटली.
हाउ मेनी ड्राफ्ट्स वर मेड बिफोर यू सेड दैट दिस इज इट?
वाओ, I can't remember that answer, but many drafts. I read this book personally 6 times before. I proofread this book 6 times before it was finally. I checked each and every spelling mistake in the book, because पूरे meaning खराब हो जाता है अगर book में कहीं पे भी spelling mistake हो,
This is probably the toughest question. Book writing or startup building? What's most tougher for you?
आई थिंक अब तो बुक रीडिंग ही है, बुक राइटिंग है, सॉरी. बिकॉज बुक राइटिंग में क्या होता है कि आपके पास नॉलेज है, बट उस नॉलेज को ट्रांसलेट कैसे करना है. इट इज़ ईजी टू राइट अ बुक, बट इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट टू राइट अ बुक विच ट्रांसलेट्स नॉलेज इन टू एक्शन, कि आपको ये बुक समझ में आए और आप उस पर एक्शन लें, राइट. सो मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज, और मैं लिख रहा था जेनजीज के लिए, एंड दिस इज़ अ 0 to 1 बुक, राइट. इनफैक्ट इस बुक का जो कवर है वॉज नॉट माई फर्स्ट चॉइस, बट माई पब्लिशर सेट की एक कलर थीम हमारे हिसाब से बहुत अच्छा चलेगा. मैंने एक वोटिंग करी, मेरे को जो कलर पसंद, थीम पसंद था, वो older people selected it, and this was selected by Gen Z. So I said, okay, let's go with this.
If your book was turned into a Netflix series, what will be its name? And who should play the role in it?
That's again a difficult question. मैं तो बुक का नाम स्टार्टअप, मतलब सीरीज का नाम स्टार्टअप ऑज रखूँ, बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी.
And who would play Vivek Chadda in it?
राजकुमार राव. I think he's a good actor.
So he can play your journey.
He can play my journey, I think.
Got it. So the last question. One piece of advice you want every inspiring founder or author to remember?
Resilience. I think life will be about ups and downs, but just knowing that keep going, and things will happen.
Got it. Thank you so much, Vivek, for coming
Thank
today
you for having
with
me.
us.
Really enjoyed.
One of the last things, because that is one thing which I admire personally about you, is कि आप बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों को अपने आप से अटैच करके रखते हो. लाइक कभी भी आपसे कोई मिल रहा है, वो एक क्वालिटी होती है ना कि आप उसको फ़ैन बना लेते हो. दे स्टार्टेड एडमायरिंग यू, दे स्टार्ट गिविंग यू वैल्यूज़. What is that one thing which keeps you so grounded in your life?
I think I was on the other side as well when I thought very highly of myself. But then I also realized that I was not learning, right? And the best way to learn is to really understand that you don't know everything. And self-awareness is very important, right? अगर मुझे आज सब कुछ आता है, that is a misconception. But when I meet people and I listen to their stories, then I realize that everybody has a different journey, and जो दूसरे person का perspective या knowledge है, it is coming from their experience, and I want to know about it and I want to learn it, right? मेरे को सबसे ज़्यादा आता है उसका मुझे कोई benefit नहीं हो रहा है. मुझे benefit कब होगा जब when I learn about other people, right? And I think that is the perspective I carry. I do not want to push my knowledge onto anybody else, right? This is the best way, I think it should be done.
And why this and not a autobiography of yours?
Autobiography, so I think I have to still do a lot to, deserve
Might
an
be after
autobiography.
10-15 years.
Huh? Maybe you can write a biography.
I start writing your biography. from
पहले आप
here.
लिखना शुरू करो, फिर हम डिस्कस
आप
करेंगे.
उसको 6 बार प्रूफ रीड करना.
नहीं वो आप करना.
ठीक है. इट वॉज रियली ग्रेट हैविंग यू. मेरा इस पॉडकास्ट से मेजर मोटिव था ऑडियंस तक ये पहुंचाना कि कैसे आप अपनी एक जर्नी जो है, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम एन एम्प्लॉय टू फाउंडर्स टू कैसे आप एग्जिट्स स्मूथली लेते हो. यू गेट योर startup acquired and then building another startup from scratch and then investments and everything. So it was a beautiful journey. It was really an inspiring journey. People
Thank you.
should look after, and I hope my audience also loves it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time again. It was really great having you, and I hope we are having our next conversation with Startupology 2.0 very soon.
Inshallah. Thank you, Armi.
Thank you, Vivek.
Thank you for having me.